Hey, I saw gold shut up last night. I was just wondering what you guys would be selling 1 ounce gold eagles for today.
Gold Eagles. Yeah, it was got over 2,100, but now it's bounced back down.
Right.
Gold Eagles. If you don't care what year, they're 21.37 right now.
21.37. What's your cheapest ounce of gold that you guys carry for a 1 ounce?
1 ounce gold bars,
What
and
do those run?
those are 2,100 right now.
2100. So 21.37 for an eagle, 2100 for a bar. Okay. All
Yep.
right. You think it's going to keep going down or back up? What do you think?
Oh man, I don't know. I seen the same thing you saw last night. I was like, wow, what am I in for today? But by
Yeah.
the time I got in, it had corrected. So,
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
all right, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. It has been a wild ride for the price of gold over these last few days, and even these last few weeks, we have seen gold steadily creep up to over $2,000 an ounce. Now, on Friday, there was much excitement because we saw gold hit a record high of over $2,070 per ounce. And last night on Sunday, we saw a lot of excitement. In fact, I saw quite a few precious metals YouTubers go live because of this. As you can see, gold spiked to over $2,100 an ounce for the first time ever. However, I figured rather than jump in on the excitement and go live myself, I would wait to see what happens the next day because, as always, when you see a spike like this, it's usually followed by a correction. And boy, are we seeing a correction today. In fact, gold is almost down $100 an ounce from where it peaked at last night after the market opened. But as you all know, that number is not the most important number when it comes to physical precious metal stacking. What is most important if you're wanting to buy gold is what your landed cost is. In other words, how much would you have to pay if you were to walk into a coin shop right now and buy a 1 ounce eagle or a 1 ounce bar or whatever they had that was 1 ounce of gold? And that's what we're going to find out today because I am going to call 15 Yes, 15 coin shops across the US and find out what they would sell 1 ounce gold eagles for and 1 ounce gold bars for with these new high spot prices. So do me a favor, don't forget to like and subscribe to help YouTube recommend this video, and let's get to it. All right, so I just called all 15 coin shops and they got the data. Now, spot price was going up and down quite a bit while I was making these calls. So instead of looking at their landed price, we are going to look at their landed premium. Like, for example, in that shop that we just got off the phone with, because as you can see, they were plus 90. So if spot is 2,100, plus 90 would be 2,190. If spot is 1,900, plus 90 would be 1,990. You get the idea. So you can use this as an idea of what you're actually going to pay based on what spot price is at the time that you walk in the shop. But our first shop that you guys heard me call, they were $90 an ounce over spot for 1 ounce gold eagles and $50 an ounce over spot for 1 ounce gold bars as their cheapest gold. Also, a thing I'll tell you before we get on into our next shop is that I didn't record the rest of the calls, so I can actually show you which state we called. And also, these numbers are rounded. So if it came out to 51 over, I just said, all right, 50. If it came out to 89 over, I just said, okay, just round it up to 90. You get the idea, because their spot price ticker might be different for what I'm seeing as well. So we're just rounding these numbers out because that dollar or two isn't going to really matter much anyway at the end of the day. So looking at the next shop, we actually called a coin shop in Illinois. They were quite a bit higher on eagles, as you can see, at 125 an ounce over spot for 1 ounce eagles, but their cheapest gold was bars, which was really close at 55 over as opposed to 50 over that shop that we just called quoted us. So not too bad there on the bars, a little bit high on the eagles. Next up, we have a shop in Utah. They did not have gold bars in stock, so their cheapest gold in stock was 1 ounce gold Krugerrands, which was $80 an ounce over spot. Eagles were still high, over $120 an ounce over spot. If I remember that when I did round it down, it was like 121, 122. Subtracting what I saw, it came out to 120. But 120 for eagles, $80 an ounce for gold Krugerrands. All right, our next shop is in Virginia. Back to bars. We have $60 an ounce over spot for 1 ounce gold bars. 1 ounce gold eagles, we had 120 over spot. So we're still over $100 over spot for your 1 ounce gold eagles in the state of Virginia. Our next state is Kentucky. Gold bars, $55 an ounce over spot for 1 ounce gold bars. Eagles, still $100 an ounce over spot here at $110 an ounce over spot for a 1 ounce gold American Eagle. All right, our next shop in the state of Texas, we get back under to $100 an ounce over spot for 1 ounce gold eagles at 95 with the shop that we called in Texas. And I believe this one, if I remember correctly, I did round that one up. It was like 93 and change. So 95 an ounce over spot for Eagles in the shop that we called in Texas. Gold at Maples, $75 an ounce over spot. That was the cheapest gold that they had available. They did not have any gold bars. Not really too bad for Maples. I do believe that we have other people on here with Maples as well. 75, I believe, is around where it was for the majority of them. Next up, well, here we go. The next shop, Arkansas. I just said we had other ones, and Arkansas was $80 an ounce for gold Maple Leafs, $125 for gold Eagles. And actually, if we compare to these two shops, the difference between Eagles with these two shops is $30 an ounce over spot. You can see Texas was 95, but they were 125 in Arkansas. But the difference between Maples was only $5. So this shop wants a lot more for Eagles than Texas, but not a whole lot more for Maples. All right, so the next shop after that, we have Alabama. We had a spot plus 100 for 1 ounce gold Eagles, and Maples, I'm sorry, not Maples, we're back to bars here, $60 an ounce over spot for gold bars. So one thing you'll notice is if their cheapest gold in stock is like a Maple or a Cougar end, it's closer to 75 to 80, but if their cheapest thing in stock is a gold bar, generally it's in that 50 to 60 range. At least that's what I've noticed so far. All right, so our next shop here, this is in New Mexico. Just as I said that. I wrote all these down as I was calling them, but I don't remember every single price because I called so many shops. But just as I said that, here we go in New Mexico. 1 ounce gold bars at $75 an ounce over spot. 1 ounce Eagles at $125 an ounce over spot. They were pretty high. After New Mexico, we have California. California is looking pretty good at $100 an ounce over spot for Eagles. Not too bad, certainly not the best, but I've actually had worse experiences in California when calling for prices over there. Maples were $75 an ounce over spot there in California. Our next shop, Arizona, we had 1 ounce gold Eagles under $100 again. We're down to $95 an ounce for 1 ounce gold Eagles. 1 ounce gold bars were at $60 an ounce over spot. After Arizona, we have Indiana. We have 1 ounce gold Maples. This is the cheapest Maple, I believe, at $70 an ounce over spot. That's the cheapest gold they had in stock. So any of these shops that don't have like gold bars, generally they're going to quote me Maples or Cougar ends, whatever they have is the lowest price. Kind of like I asked that guy when we called him, what is your lowest price gold item? And he said it'd be bars. Well, these shops, they said Maples or Cougar ends. In other words, I assume they didn't have bars. But Indiana had 1 ounce gold Eagles at $125 an ounce over spot. All right, our next shop. This is the worst one that I called. Louisiana. We had 1 ounce gold Eagles at spot plus 150. Guys, clearly by all the shops I've already shown you, if a shop's going to quote you 150 an ounce over for 1 ounce gold Eagles, just go elsewhere because that's way too high. Same goes for Maples. $100 an ounce over spot for a 1 ounce gold Maple Leaf. Granted, keep in mind, this is just one shop in a big state. There's a lot of shops out there, so this isn't Louisiana as a whole. This is just the one shop that I called. So if you live there, that doesn't mean you're out of luck. Just call around to multiple locations and get your best price. If they tell you 150, go elsewhere. All right, next up we have Washington. Washington had 1 ounce gold bars. Washington's actually usually cheaper. I've noticed on 1 ounce silver stuff, but this time not so much. 1 ounce gold Eagles at $130 an ounce over spot. And we had our 1 ounce gold bars at $70 an ounce over spot. And then finally, the state of Florida, we have gold bars. Here we go, back down to 50 for the 1 ounce gold bar. So that's pretty good. And then $110 an ounce for Eagles. So kind of like that first shop, gold bars at around $50 an ounce over spot, but they were definitely higher on the Eagles at 110. So now that we have all the data from all 15 shops, 14 of which, like I said, you can see your state, we have an average. So taking a look at 1 ounce gold Eagles, we have 1 ounce Eagles. The lowest premium was $90 an ounce over spot. The highest was $150. That's a spread of $60 between the lowest and the highest shop. And the average premium was $115, which is only $25 an ounce higher than the low, but $35 an ounce lower than the high. So that high was actually quite high compared to the other shops that we called. That shop, like I said, was $150 an ounce over spot. Looking at the cheapest gold they had available, this could be bars, it could be Maples, it could be Cougar ends. The lowest that we had was $50 an ounce over spot, with the average of all 15 shops being 68 and the highest being 100. So right here, the disparity between low and average is only $18, but the disparity between the average and the high, 32. But a lot of that has to do with some shops had Maples and Cougar ends as opposed to bars. So keep in mind, those numbers are probably skewed just a little bit. It's just that not all shops had bars in stock. But there you go. So like I said, the landed price of what you can get your gold for is even more important than what the spot price is. It's really exciting to see those numbers climb if you guys have a lot of gold, but seeing those numbers climb if you're still stacking, probably not your favorite thing, because you want to be able to buy more gold for your money. Whereas right now, when gold hits record highs of over $2,100 an ounce, that means you can buy less gold for your money. So let me know what you're doing down in the comments. Are you wanting to sell your gold and are waiting for it to go up? Are you wanting to buy more gold and so you would like to see it go down? I would love to know what you guys are doing, so leave that comment down below. And additionally, the next thing you should do is watch this video where I actually call around coin shops to find out what they would buy from us, our 1 ounce gold eagles, to see what they would pay us. So if you haven't seen that video yet, watch it right now. Other than that, guys, again, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.